Now, I don't tolerate me too posts, where someone says, I think that, whatever they think, and then someone else jumps in and goes, me too. I mean, feel free to do that all you want, but those don't count as your posts for the week. There's no substance to them, really. You're just encouraging your fellow students, and that's great. I want you to encourage your fellow students, but add a little more to it. Me too, I thought, blah blah, which doesn't mean these have to be long posts. They can only be they don't have to be very long. And what I don't want you to do is write like a big paragraph that's mostly copied from Wikipedia or someplace like that. That's just wrong. What I want you to do is have an honest response to what you're reading in the discussion forum. So you read something, you say, hey, I liked this because X, or I didn't like it because X, or hey, what is the deal with X? Because I can jump in there and try to clarify some things, and your fellow students can clarify some things, and you can share your thoughts on some things. And that's what it's about, understanding the text. The discussion board is where we can ask questions of one another and get a clearer idea of what's going on, so that when you jump in and write your papers later, you feel a little more in charge of things, right? It's also where you can ask procedural questions about the class, of course. Anything that you are concerned about, especially anything to do with plagiarism, which we'll talk about more in just a sec. Any of that sort of stuff is great. Post it there. So 3 things. You're going to read a lot in a given week, so it should be easy to come up with 3 things to say, either on your own or in response to something somebody else has said, or something I've said, or whatever. Okay, I'm looking at my little cheat sheet here to see what else we want to talk about. This class runs, the fall and spring classes run 16 weeks. Okay, so 16 weeks is what we have to cover this stuff. American literature since the Civil War, which is what we're covering, Civil War to now, end of the Civil War to now, is vast. We can't read all the great stuff that's been written in that much time. But we'll read a good kind of broad selection, so hit some of the high notes. I won't get as much into the contemporary stuff as I would like to, because I feel there's a lot of sort of foundational texts that you just kind of have to know anything about American Lit. You can always take a class later in the contemporary novel or something like that, which is great, and I enjoyed those classes myself, or the Southern novel or modern novel or whatever. But for a class like this, there's just some heavy hitters that I have to cover. It would be wrong not to cover Whitman and Dickinson and T.S. Eliot and Hemingway and Faulkner and Flannery O'Connor. It would just be wrong not to cover those people. They've earned the right to be discussed in a class of this sort, so we're going to discuss them. But we will get in a few contemporary guys. I bring in Michael Chabon at the very end, and I may slip in another text there, maybe by Don DeLillo or some other contemporary writer, just for the fun of it, because they're significant too, and they'll be in the anthology if they're not already. Oh, what else? So this runs August 17 through December 5, and finals week is December 7th through the 12th. Ours is on the 10th. December 10th is our final. A couple more things to talk about. Maybe one of these will segue into the other. Research databases. Your school has excellent online research resources. Your library, at least the online version of it, because I've actually never set foot on your campus. I've been to Little Rock, but I've never been to Pulaski Tech. I've even been to North Little Rock, but I haven't been to Pulaski Tech. Next time I'm in Little Rock or North Little Rock, I'm actually going to go by and drop by the English department and meet the fine people that have been employing me for what is my side gig for the last 3 years, I guess. But your library is great. You have excellent online research tools, the best available, honestly, good stuff. You have JSTOR, which is a wonderful database. You have ProQuest. You have the Oxford English Dictionary. That's incredibly expensive. The other school where I work during the day doesn't have as extensive a tools for online research as what you have. And those are the tools I want you to use for your research. Now, that doesn't mean I'm barring you from going out to Wikipedia and learning about things, because Wikipedia is great. I love it. I help edit some things on it, but it is not scholarly research. It is, in fact, no encyclopedia is scholarly research. Encyclopedias are for getting your feet wet in a topic you don't know anything about. Real research starts after that. Okay? So what I want you to do in this class is real research. That means you're going to go and try to find articles from peer-reviewed journals and other resources of that sort. It's a higher level of discussion going on after you get that basic stuff out of the way. Now, if you find something online, yeah, really, I want you to go with the peer-reviewed things. But if you do use something else, you definitely need to cite it. You definitely need to cite it. But a lot of you, not a lot of you, but some of you will go out and find stuff like Book Rags, which is a terrible website, or Spark Notes or Cliff Notes. Those are useful for getting your feet wet, but they're not. They're just not scholarly research. So I want you to know the difference, learn the difference. We have an embedded librarian in our class, and that's very helpful because we can ask questions about these sorts of things, and she will be posting, it's usually a she, will be posting some guides to the various online databases to help you use those. I'm pretty familiar with a couple of them, especially JSTOR, so I can help you out with that a lot if you just ask questions. Okay, so research databases. Wikipedia for getting your feet wet, but it doesn't count as a source. Okay, there's some good stuff on the web, but I don't want to get into trying to evaluate sources. I know the stuff in the research databases is solid. I mean, at least it's been published somewhere other than on the web. So we'll use those for this class. That's what counts as a source. Cheating. I hate to always bring up the plagiarism thing, but it's a real problem in English classes. So many people go out and just try to find some stuff on the web and paste it together and change a word or two here. It won't do. It's cheating. Personally, it offends me. I'm not supposed to take it personally. I've always been told don't take it personally. I know other instructors who don't take it personally. I take it personally. It annoys me. It makes me mad. I spend way too much of my time trying to document the fact that you've done all this cheating, and then I have to send it to the department head, who sends it to the dean, and everybody signs off on it, and then you fail the class. When you do that, you fail the class. And that's just not what I wanted, the way I want things to go. I never wanted to be a cop. No offense to any of you who happen to be cops. That's great. Somebody has to be a cop, but it was never my dream. What I wanted to do was teach. And one thing I want to teach you right now is that if you turn in stuff that's plagiarized, I'll figure out that it is, and I'll fail you. And in fact, I won't have much sympathy for you if you do that. I really won't. I understand that good people do bad things, but still, I'll track you down and fail you. And the college makes it very easy for me because we subscribe to a database service where I just upload your papers, and I'll upload every paper you turn in this semester, and it will check all the papers that have been uploaded there by this school and by every other school that subscribes to the service, as well as it will also comb the internet and find matches out there. And it does fuzzy logic, see? So even if you change words here and there, it can still tell very accurately. And I catch at least 2 people every term, I'd say. At least 2 every term. And they fail. They fail the class. I've not yet turned in my paperwork and had the higher-ups disagree with me. They always say, yep, you're right, this person deserves an F. And Pulaski Tech doesn't care about that. What I mean is they will not give you a slap on the hand and say, oh, it's okay. Go ahead and turn it in again. They won't do it. I've never seen them do it. They always say, yep, that person deserves to fail. We have we're a technical college, but we have academic standards that we aspire to, and that's one of them.